Welcome back to the No Fit Too Small podcast. My name is Jackie Selsky. I'm your host today and the Director of Marketing and Communications at No Fit Too Small. This is a special bonus episode because we just launched our 7th annual Angels in the Outfield campaign, and we just want to tell you all about it, get you excited. We've got 1 week left in team registration period, so let's just get started. My guests today are Koster and Robin Boudreau. So thank you for being with me, ladies.
Thank you for hosting us.
And getting us excited about this really fun annual campaign.
It is a fun campaign.
It's
so a fun event.
Yeah. If you can't tell, it's very baseball themed. We're rocking the 2025 new shirts, and Robin's got our custom Angel jersey on.
Oh, it's my favorite.
Yeah.
It's my favorite. I won't stand up right now to show you the back, but maybe later.
Yeah, we'll dive into that a little bit, but I want to get started with maybe, Robin, you just sharing a little bit about the history of Angels in the Outfield and really what this is.
You bet. So this takes us all the way back to 2018, 2019. And Stevie, actually, who created these beautiful shirts, again, knocked it out of the park with them, was sitting with me, and we're having a conversation around, what else can we do to celebrate angels, but also raise funds for the mission of No Fit Too Small. We'd both had experience with the March of Dimes prior. And you look at some of those larger organizations, and they typically have walks, right? Things that really bring in community, draw in family members, support members who can fund a mission. But we didn't want to do that. We didn't want to do what everybody else does. And so lo and behold, we thought, why don't we do an event at the ballpark, right? We build teams. We build angel teams. Fast forward all these years, and it's really evolved into something even more special. But the whole idea being we build teams around our angels, and that's our family, our earthly children, our neighbors, right? Our parents, and our friends. And we come together for a day at the ballpark after running a campaign for several weeks to fund the mission.
So how do people sign up for a team? How does that work?
Well, that's also evolved over the years. We do have a new platform this year called QGive, but the team captain. So typically this is the angel mom or dad will go onto the site and create the team. Again, the name can be anything they wish. Ours is Bo's Team or Team Bo. Create that landing page, so to speak, and then invite other members to join.
So a family has just started a team.
Yep.
If you haven't, we'll link in the show notes. We've got 1 week left,
Yep.
Open registration. What's next?
So typically, once you've started your team, you're really excited to recruit those team members, right? To recruit your players who are going to support the mission. And it's sharing the team with them at that point and starting your fundraising efforts. No Fit Too Small will help in that process and creating challenges, so to speak, and incentives for fundraising. But you start sharing it. For me, that's on social media. For others, it could be via email or something else. But inviting others to join along.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun, exclusive No Fit Too Small prizes.
We like prizes.
We do like prizes. For as low as, raising $50, you earn something. So there's, at every level, if you are brand new to fundraising, this is not meant to be an intimidating event at all. We're actually offering toolkits and graphics and things to support families. So it's one of the reasons we wanted to invite Kara here this year, because a new addition to the program this year is Kara in a support role for our families. So when they've got questions or want support or ideas, this will be the person they can go to. Yeah. So Kara, I'm just going to let you maybe introduce who you are, your role at No Fit Too Small, and maybe a little bit about how you found our organization.
Sure. Yeah. So Koster, and I'm currently an angel ambassador with with No Fit Too Small for coming up on a year. So I'm still pretty fresh and new in all the things.
It feels like you've been around a lot.
Thank you. Thank you. It feels like a family and home to me too. So I've been a part of No Fit Too Small, part of the community, I would say, for a little over 3 years. And my story is kind of like the textbook story of 1 in 4 pregnancies end in a miscarriage. And I've had 4 pregnancies. I have 3 living children and 1 angel. Our first 2 pregnancies, we were able to get pregnant easy and quickly, had easy, simple pregnancies, and welcomed home 2 beautiful, healthy baby boys. So when I finally convinced my husband, we need 1 more, we thought we were naive to think that, it would all be easy and happen again that way. So completely blindsided about the 10-week mark that I actually had a miscarriage. I had no idea what was happening, what to expect. I mean, just my whole world stopped, came crashing down. And so for about a year, I kind of tried to navigate that grief on my own. I have had a lot of acquaintances and friends that had miscarriages too, but that was about all I knew. Had a miscarriage. I'm so sorry. And that's kind of the end of the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
For me, that didn't sit well. I wasn't ready to like just end that because even though I only carried my angel for 10 weeks, I love that baby just as much as I love my living children. So I struggled for a year as to like, how do I continue to keep my baby's memory alive and what do I do with that? Sought therapy, that was amazing, but I still was missing something else. And so actually an acquaintance she had talked about No Foot Too Small. Her daughter was born still when I had my second son. And so I had remembered the organization, but again, because mine was an early loss, I wasn't quite sure if my loss fit into that. But I was to that point where I was like, I need something else. I need some more support. And so I'd reached out to her and she said, absolutely. Like, here's the link. I joined the moms group. And as soon as I was accepted in that group, I started reading everyone's posts and I was like, it was home. Like I felt understood.
Ooh, they get it.
And I didn't even have to tell my story or mutter a word. So,
and that's our private Facebook group.
Yes.
So
yep.
Yeah, I'm really glad you found that because the moms in there are active.
Yeah. And that's
all
a
day.
whole other form of support and therapy and all of the things.
Is.
Yeah. So after that, I actually just signed up for the virtuals that were being held, monthly virtuals via Zoom, and just kind of leaped in and did that and joined my first virtual. And now I don't miss a month. If I miss a month, I'm super bummed about it. So for a year I did that. And then I actually had met with Robin and we were talking about some, ways that I could kind of lean in and get involved. And she was like, well, have you been to any of our events? And I was like, no. And she's like, well, maybe do that first.
Start with that.
Yeah. And Angels in the Outfield was coming up. And the year before I had wanted to join, but I was so fresh and new and scared, right? And so I didn't, but I'm so mad that I didn't do Angels in the Outfield that first year because I remember seeing people's posts and pictures and I was like, that looks amazing. Another thing for me, I really remember like in those first deep, dark days of grief, like I vowed to myself that I was just going to make sure that my angel was remembered. I had no idea I would actually celebrate my angel. And that's what No Foot Too Small has brought into my and my family's life is that not only do we have that support system and like people who get it, but we get to go out there and have fun too. And I love Angels in the Outfield for that fact. So it was actually our first event that we had attended. And my husband, I mean, he was super supportive, like, yeah, we're going to do this. He really had no idea. Prior with the organization, all he knew was like once a month I would go into our bedroom door, shut the door for 2 hours, and I'd go on the Zoom call. And he's like, he didn't really know what else, right?
She's just hiding.
Yeah, he was like, what is happening? So I told him we're going to do this, we're going to go to the ball diamond and like trying to explain it to him. But I think he was just like, yep, I'm here to support you, whatever you need. But on the way home from our first event in Angels in the Outfield, he was like, whoa, that was actually pretty cool. I thought it was just going to be like this sad day. And so I think that just was kind of like the aha moment for him. Like, it doesn't always have to be. Yes, it's heavy. Yes, it's sad. And we're all there we're all brought together because of that. But there can be a lot of joy in that too. And that's what No Foot Too is all about, right? Like combining that joy and grief together. And we can celebrate our angels. And Angels in the Outfield is a way to do that. And it's a great way to involve my living children. They love the day. They're so excited for this year. Our first year we attended, it was like 35 degrees, super cold, super whatever. And they were just like, this is so fun. We're at the ball diamond and we're doing all these fun things. And there's all these other kids around. And they knew we were there for our angel, who we actually did not name our angel until we found this group. Because again, prior to that, I didn't feel like it was something that I could or should do. And then after I found this group and kind of met other moms and saw everyone like referring to their angel as a name, I'm like, well, I want to name my angel. So we named our angel Cody. And so our team name is Cody's Crew. And then I actually love this too. As you had talked about the backs of the shirt, you can decide if you want to have a number in the back of your shirt. Like
we forgot that part.
Theme into baseball. And so I told my husband, I was like, what should our team number be? And he's like, well, 3, because Cody's our third kid. And like that to me, sometimes it's hard for men to like show up and like we all grieve differently. But like those moments, like that was like, okay, yeah. So we're Cody's crew and our number is number 3 because Cody is our
love
3rd
that.
child.
Yep.
So yeah.
I love that. And the acknowledgement of Cody in Cody's place in your family.
Yep.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to ask you actually how you came up with your name and the number you picked. So I'm glad you shared that because I think, you know, a lot of our families who are returning keep the same name every year and the same number, but it's hard to maybe think back to how that started. So
It's way more creative than Team Bo.
no, it's not. Everyone is picked so intentionally. That's what is so great about it. It's so meaningful. Every name, every word, every number, every shirt that you see. And it becomes this sea of whatever color our shirts are that year, right? Last year they were bright pink. So you go to the ballpark and you walk in and it's just, well, there's no foot too small. There's 800 people with a pink t-shirt on. And it's the intentionality behind all of the team information is really special. So,
and I feel like it's a really great way for, you know, my dad is not a man of many words unless you get him talking about hunting or fishing. So for him, like with my loss and stuff, it's harder for him to know what to say or even that generational, you know, it's just a whole different conversation. So this is a way that he can show up and support me and just, you know, and join our family at the Ball Diamond, wear a Cody's Crew shirt. So that's really impactful and powerful, I think, too, is like sometimes people want to show up, but they don't know how. So these events are just great ways of like, I want to support you, whether it's I want to donate to your page, I want to help you in your fundraising goals, or we would love to join you at the Ball Diamond. I mean, some people have like 50 to 100 people with them. I mean, that's my goal at some point in my life to have even more friends and family join us. But we're small and that's fine too. We're small and mighty, but then you're surrounded by the entire community and it's just a super fun day.
I love that you brought up your dad. I think, you know, what baseball does, what sports do is just create this safe kind of casual environment for us to open conversations, right? And so what are some examples of ways that you started to invite your family to be part of this, whether that was through social media or just personal conversations? How did you get started on that? The first time you set up a team, you mentioned you were nervous and skipped it the first year. So, you know, if we're giving advice to a brand new family who's considering doing this for 2025, you know, how did you start? Where did you get the ideas to start inviting people?
Yeah, I think it's really just make the ask and just let them know what it means to you. And so I just kind of like typed up our story and just said like, and a lot of people, my first year, a lot of people didn't really know. I mean, I had involved myself into the community, but without attending the events, I didn't even know what was all available. And so I just kind of put it out there and said like, whether you knew or not, we experienced this and we found this amazing support group. And, I just kind of said too, fundraisers are a dime a dozen. Like I understand if you're willing and able to, even $10 can make a huge difference. So I'm not asking for like thousands of dollars or anything crazy. And I found that last year, I put a post out on social media. I mean, social media is great for those types of things. And the people that donated, I never expected. And some people are like, we've been following along your story. We want to support you. We've never experienced it, but my sister did, and so you just kind of like get those connections of people. So in my opinion, you just got to ask. It's either yes or no. And if it's no, that's fine. If it's yes, like I said, any dollar amount can help further fund the mission, can help further support lost families. And that's what I really said. I said, this organization has done so much for me and my family. And so I just want to, if you're able to, I would love for you to, kind of help us be able to help more lost families.
Yeah. What did it mean to your family to start seeing people, some of those unexpected gifts or gestures of support?
Yeah. I mean, it's amazing. I mean, again, I think it's this, it's so taboo in like society. And so people want to help, they want to lend their support, but they're really not sure how. And so I think that's just an easy way for they can say, hey, like, look, I've never been through that, or I can't imagine, but I would love to support you, or I would love to support other lost families. So I think that just gives them a way to be able, because people want to. I mean, they want to help. They want to know what to say. And so I think it just gives them that easy way of like, we're here supporting you in your journey, and we want to let you know that. So
yeah,
it equips them with the opportunity.
Yeah.
And I think we find in this process, there are so many people who want to lean in and want to help. And to your point, they just don't know how. Yeah. So inviting them along the journey.
Yeah. And one of the things we're adding this year, we do surveys every year of our families who participate to get feedback on exactly what you're sharing with us. Just how do we offer more space for connections and community building? And so we're really excited this year that we're bringing tailgates to both locations for our in-person game days, which are in Des Moines and Cedar Rapids. And so there'll be 2 hours even before the game where family and friends can meet and just have that community experience. So it's a full day of time together, which is going to be really exciting. So, and Robin, I know you've been a part of forming this event and helping to create this event, but I want to ask you, just as a mom and as a team captain, what are some of the highlights for you over the years of being a part of Angels in the Outfield?
Oh my goodness. There's a lot of highlights because it's looked a little bit different every year. I remember we started this event in this campaign in 2019 and then immediately had to pivot in 2020 and again in 21. So when I say it looked different, it's because it had to. But I would say the most special is just watching our children experience it, right? I say all the time that our earthly children, if you have earthly children, will grow up to be different humans because they are now aware of loss, right? They have a different understanding of grief and loss. They also know how to celebrate, right? A family member that they've lost. So just experiencing all of it through their eyes, it is by far my son, Ben, my rainbow baby. He's now 11 and is still his favorite event of the year. Blooms and Butterflies is a close second. But Angels in the Outfield is like the bee's knees for him. So I would say that's the best part.
I always love to find Ben because he's throwing a ball around. He's like being one of the players.
Oh, yeah.
He takes it very seriously.
And I would say, so it's not just his experience or a singular child's experience that is so special, but is watching all of our children come together, right? Allie and I joke all the time that they think they're related. Yeah. Like we must be cousins, we must be family, and certainly everybody here has angels, right? So just watching the community and relationships that they're building amongst themselves is super special.
Yeah, I think, and I mean, for me personally, I don't have my own living children. And so what advice would you give? We talk a lot about this being a family event, but what advice would either of you give to maybe somebody in my shoes who wouldn't be able to bring Earthside children, but maybe would have the opportunity to invite other relatives and friends? And what advice would you give to somebody like that?
Yeah, I can see where that would be like, well, this doesn't fit where I'm at in my life. But again, I think it's just that community and that support. For me, a lot of my stuff is done virtually. And so just being able to like actually hug people in person and see them, and just, again, inviting your family along, inviting friends and family. I mean, there's some people that my nieces come. One of their roommates last year came along, and just to kind of participate and see the day. And I think, like Robin said too, just normalizing that, yeah, we all have loss in common, but we're also like friends and family and a community. And again, I think just having it at a ball diamond, and it's like this, like my husband said, I thought it was just going to be this sad day. Like he didn't even know what to expect. Even if we're at a ball diamond, he thought like it was just going to be this sad day. So I think just, again, normalizing that and just bringing those people in to support you. And again, too, people just want to lend their support. They just don't always know how to do it. So this is an easy way. Like, hey, come to iCub game or Colonel's game and just have a fun day at the ball diamond with us. And even if you don't even have to talk about it, you don't even have to mention it. Yeah. But they're just there supporting you. So
I think I would say that Stevie and I, in those very early days, were trying to be very intentional about creating a space that was welcoming to all, right? Like anybody can attend a baseball game. Anybody could enjoy a baseball game. When you think about these families who don't have earthly children yet, one that comes to mind is Morgan Atkinson. So Morgan and Garrett, and the year that they brought, I think 90 to 100
It's incredible.
Guests to this event. That team was quite large and it was really special, right? Yeah. But it wasn't just mom and dad. It was grandpa and grandma and cousins and aunts, uncles, neighbors, friends. It's awesome to watch. And I would put my money on that they had an equally special day as somebody who was there with earthly children.
Yeah. I think so too. We talk a lot about individual family teams, right? And I think I mentioned earlier, you walk into the ballpark and there's literally 800 people matching shirts. Well, nothing says team like matching shirts, right? So even if you're walking in by yourself or as a small group, you're immediately part of something. And I think that's what I felt last year, which I want other families to know too, that it doesn't matter the size of their team. I love that you said small and mighty. It doesn't matter if you're bringing you and a partner or 90 people. I mean, you walk in and you are immediately just embraced, whether that's a physical hug. We like hugs. I know it's small, but you are just literally welcomed right away. So, and that's an experience that we want to replicate even for families who can't be here in person. And so I'd love for you guys to also touch on our other option of home style Angels in the Outfield, because this is also a special way we allow families to celebrate with us.
This takes me back to 2020 when we really didn't have a choice other than to offer what became Angels in the Outfield home style. I remember sitting on a Zoom call with the girls and I joked, I'm like, well, we're obviously going to send out hot dogs, right? Like it's not a baseball
in the
game.
mail.
In the mail.
Oh my goodness.
Right. This home style box is going to have all the things to replicate a day at the ballpark. And that includes hot dogs. And they looked at me like, Robin, you're nuts. Like, are you going to send this on dry ice or in a cooler or what are you going to do? I'm like, I don't know. Maybe we'll deliver them. So no, we could not send the hot dogs, but I do think we included the buns that year.
Are we getting a NOFA Too Small Wiener Mobile? Is this happening in 2025? This might be a new marketing mission of mine, but no, I love that.
Yeah. So I know the box is still being built out for this year. Maybe either of you might have more information than I have on what it looks like this year, but it is that opportunity to join us in the celebration, regardless of where you're located.
Yeah, it's still a little bit of a surprise, so we'll have to maybe keep that to ourselves for now.
We also like surprises.
We do, yeah. But the boxes can be purchased, so a family can purchase those on their own, or they can earn them in their as one of the fundraising incentives too. So that's pretty exciting as a milestone to encourage friends and family to contribute to, so that you can all have a little party at home. So yeah, what are some other highlights that you guys would want to share?
It's amazing. I mean, I just feel like you have to experience it. And again, like I was a little leery, like, should we, shouldn't we? And we'll never miss one now, ever since we attended our first one. So, and anyone else are here to answer questions. I think that's kind of like the big, like, I don't know, but if I do this or I got signed up and now what, like absolutely.
So we have your permission to drop your contact information
Absolutely.
in the show notes.
Yeah. I mean, I'm no expert. I'm only 2 years in. This will be our third year.
That makes you an expert.
But I'm absolutely willing, because I would love to see even more people out there. And whether you're small and mighty, like our teams are huge teams. Like there's not, just you want to show up, you and your partner, whatever. It's just such an amazing experience. And we can sit here and talk about how great it is, but until you actually experience it, just like with my husband, it was his aha moment of like, wow, this is something incredible. And just, you gotta experience it. So.
Yeah. And that's why we invited a really special family to join us after this to share their experience from, 4 years old up. So we'll get the perspectives of several members of a family too, because it's unique.
So Jackie, I probably oversimplified the process or was a little bit vague early in this conversation. But I do think that the process is simple, right? Signing up your team, the rest will follow. We're all here to support in that process. But this year, we are changing things up a little bit in that we really do only have this short window of time to register the teams. And what I would want everybody to know is that's not because we're trying to be difficult or rush anybody into anything, but these shirts are super special. And when you have 1,500 attendees, plus all of the other folks who want to support your team from afar, that shirt order is really large. And so out of respect for our partners who help make these shirts possible, we do need to have all of those teams registered in a short time frame. And then we're going to enjoy spring break and come back and really kick off the fundraising campaign leading up to the day at the ballpark.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. For our returning families, it used to be a pretty long fundraising period, about 11 weeks. 11 is a special number for us at No Fit Too Small, but this year we are shortening that in hopes that we can create a little bit more momentum, and also families don't have to think about fundraising for 11 weeks. That's a
Right,
long time when
right.
you are not a professional fundraiser. So, and to Robin's point, we'll kick it off after spring break. So there's a lot of time between now and then to get prepared, to reach out to Kara for any questions you have, get your page set up. We offer families a custom landing page so that their story can be featured and they can easily share that. So we have a lot of really exciting ways we can get you set up before fundraising even kicks off. So
It will be here in no time.
it will be.
Holy buckets.
Yes, it will be. So lots of new exciting changes for returning families, but also hopefully just a really simplified process for new families who are trying this out for the first time in 2025. So anything else that you want to share with families? What would you tell a new family considering signing up today? We have 1 week left. February 18th is the deadline for signups.
Just trust us on this. I don't think you'll meet anybody who says, man, I wish I wouldn't have done that. No, I think you will come and you'll see for yourself that it is a day of community. It's a day of celebration. And it's one that you won't forget.
Agreed. Just do it. Sign up, reach out. We'll help you.
Well, and if you're not convinced yet, we've got a really special family joining us next who will definitely make you want to be part of this. So stay tuned. Well, I am so excited to have you guys here. Are you excited?
We're really excited.
Whoa.
Yeah. Do you want to go through and introduce yourselves and share your names? You could talk into the microphone for me, okay?
Okay.
What's
Okay, do you
your
wanna
name?
Start?
Jackson,
And how old are you, Jackson?
6.
6 years old? Okay. What about you?
Connor, and my number is 4.
You are 4? Wow. Well, you guys, did you have to drive in the car to get here this morning?
Yes.
Yeah?
If you're young, Connor, my son's gonna take a nap.
Oh my gosh, I know. Well, you can take a nap after, okay? Is that okay?
Everybody can take a nap.
Yes.
And Mom and Dad, do you want to introduce
Yes.
yourselves for us?
I'm Megan Colwell, and I am one of our advocates for No Foot Too Small.
And you just got your birthday.
And I had a birthday here I did.
It was a Halloween birthday.
I did have a Halloween birthday.
Oh, that's a good
Birthdays are
Right.
important in our family, as you can tell. I'm James Colwell. I'm one of the board members at No Foot Too Small.
one. Well, thank you guys so much for making the trip to be here and help us get our families excited about Angels in the Outfield. Have you guys been to an Angels in the Outfield event before?
Yes.
Yes? What is your favorite memory?
Oh,
Finding our wings.
we love to find the
And mine
wings.
too. And also my ex do the candles.
Yes.
Yeah, we have another special event with candles, don't we?
Yeah, that's a good. We like to be able to find Kobe and Charlotte's name on the angel wings, don't we? We like to find their feather.
Yeah. Could you share with us what the angel wings are, maybe, Mom?
Yeah. The angel wings are a beautiful opportunity to be able to celebrate each of your angels, if you so choose to do so. But our angel wings actually travel to different spots across the Midwest. And so at our Angels in the Outfield event, they get to be present there. And it's just a really beautiful honorary opportunity to see their names and to be able to find them. And yeah, it's just a really neat way to kind of fill your heart.
Yeah, it is. And they're just bright and beautiful and a great photo opportunity. And
Yes.
And Charlotte and Colby are why you are here and part of
Yes.
No Foot Too Small. So maybe do you mind sharing a little bit about your story and how you found us?
Yeah.
Go for it, Mom.
What is so beautiful about No Foot Too Small is just the opportunity from the lens of meeting people and knowing new people. And so it was actually a friend of ours who was involved in the organization, thought it was an interesting place to be able to talk about our lost babies and our angel babies. And so it started with inquiry to learn more about what it was and how we can lean in.
Two. That's baby brother.
Oh, yes. Yeah, we'll talk about him in a minute.
We have a new baby brother.
We do. We've been on the journey to complete our family for a while. And so when
And Miles got a baby wonton.
he does call baby wonton. So we're currently pregnant with our
So sweet.
hopefully final rainbow babe. But in the
Congratulations.
thank you. in the journey to complete our family, we had 2 losses, Charlotte in 2019 and then Kobe in 2023. But being able to find another lost mom in, again, kind of the wild a little bit and the natural sharing of things led me to meeting with Allie, who's our director of family support. We had coffee and we kind of kicked it off and wasn't sure how to lean in. But again, once you meet everyone in the community, it just starts to feel right. And so since then, we've been involved in any way we can kind of lean in. Anything you'd add?
I would just say, I mean, kind of turning towards Angels in the Outfield, hopefully I can articulate this well, but, right, wrong, or indifferent, I feel like for maybe the males, and this is a generalization and it probably shouldn't be this way, but, there can be a tendency grief manifests itself differently, right? So sometimes, at least in my experience, it's more of kind of that silent grief because, I don't feel I went through as much or it was as bad for me as it was for her. And I'm not saying that's right. It's just kind of maybe it's the way that we're hardwired. I don't know. But that grief and that, kind of silent suffering, that you start to, that gets worse. The more isolated you are and the more you keep that down. Well, Angels in the Outfield and all the events that No Foot Too Small do, it's community, right? So we don't have to be alone in that, and we get to celebrate that and have fun and work through that. And with Angels in the Outfield, it's so beautiful because, you have obviously an immediate community, right? Like our family right here, but then our extended family comes to it. And then we have the community that's in Des Moines and at the Iowa Cubs Stadium, but it's also occurring in Cedar Rapids. So it's statewide. And then you also have, even outside of that, you don't have to be participating necessarily in the baseball game in person. You can do it at home, and you see that just grow and grow and grow. And, we have people in Wisconsin that participate in the fundraising.
Yeah.
So it really helps work through everything when there's a community that you can lean into and be part of.
This is my favorite event of all the events we put on. We're a very competitive family and we love sports and just being involved. And one of the things that as a lost parent, you sometimes forget is you're missing some of those long-term moments to being on the baseball field or in the stadium or on the wrestling mat. The boys like to wrestle. And
Fun.
so you miss those opportunities with your angel babies because they're not earthside with you. And so Angels in the Outfield kind of allows this ability to, one, spread the joy and the cheer, to be able to talk about them, which is, that will never not fill my cup, to be able to have an event that's focused on them. And you're going to get all the pregnancy hormones out here.
All right.
Now, but it allows us to be able to cheer for them in a way that we would have in the stands or on the mat or elsewhere.
I love how you say that.
Yeah,
that
it's
visual
just
is beautiful.
really cool.
Yeah.
And it allows friends, family, acquaintances to rally behind you in a way that's different than our other events because of the nature of the possibility to fundraise. It allows people to support you in a way that maybe they couldn't otherwise or don't maybe know how to lean in. This gives a very clear opportunity and a way to support the community and to support our family, which is just it's a little more unique, I think, than some of our other events.
Yeah, that's a great connection.
I would add to that, what they specifically do. I mean, their excitement, it's palpable, right? Like, it's contagious with how the fundraising builds up, and you get little things along the way with the boxes and the surprises and things like that. So it's contagious watching them get ready for this event. And then our family, outside of the state, that they're not able to travel or get here, right? Well, with social media, photos, things like that, we share that, and that gets them excited, right? And then they're talking in their communities about, hey, can you believe that this organization, one, how have we not had something like this before? But two, how fantastic is it? Because it quite literally probably impacts everybody, to some degree. Somebody, or you've experienced a loss yourself. So just watching them get excited is contagious for other people. And it just continues to drive that community, right? Because we're having people in Wisconsin, tag along virtually to the event and kind of live through their eyes and all of this, which is awesome.
That is awesome. Well, Connor and Jack, I'm so glad you are helping Mom and Dad and celebrating your angels. Should we talk about some more of the cool things that we do at Angels in the Outfield?
Yeah.
Ooh, what's your most favorite thing once we get into the stadium? What do you guys get to do?
We get to do face paint.
Oh.
How do you want to have your face painted this year? Have you thought about it?
Yeah.
Yeah. What are you thinking?
A tiger.
A tiger.
Ooh.
Tiger.
What about you,
Ooh.
Connor? What do you want to do your face paint?
Cheetah.
Ooh, a cheetah.
A cheetah. Oh, my
I love
gosh.
that. And what else? There's other really cool thing that sometimes we get to do when we're at the stadium. And they make them for you.
Oh, balloons.
The balloon.
Ooh, do they make them into cool shapes?
Yeah. Yeah.
What did you guys get last year? Do you remember?
Yeah. A sword.
The sword. That was the coolest sword.
That is.
Yeah, did you forget? But it was neat because a lot of your friends got to come last year, didn't they, Jack?
Yeah.
From school.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah. So that was really neat as well. Again, ways to be able to support families in a way that maybe you don't know how to lean in or what to do, but showing up is always a great way to be able to support it. And we get to watch a really cool baseball game.
Yeah, I mean, it's baseball. Who doesn't love baseball?
Exactly.
Right? Like, America's pastime. And we
Do you
get
guys
Cubby
play
Bear there
baseball?
too, and all sorts of fun stuff.
Yeah.
You like to play baseball, don't you, Jack?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Connor, you're still learning, aren't you? Yeah, T-ball.
And you guys are holding some pretty special bats. Can you tell us about those?
Yeah.
What do they say?
See how that reading's coming along in first grade.
Oh.
Oh. Star
Yeah.
team.
All-star. You made the all-star team?
We did.
Yes.
You have to raise a lot of money to make it into that. I think it's $1,000.
What?
What? That's a lot of money, isn't it?
Isn't that crazy? That's
a
how hard
big
we were
deal.
working.
And all of that goes, yeah, and that all goes to support No Foot Too Small. That's a big deal.
Yeah. In honor of our brother and sissy, right?
And all our friends and family help with it too.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
Well, what else do we get to do at Angels in the Outfield? Do you guys have some special pink hearts that you get to go find too?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What are we going? How does that work? So we show up there and we get to see we get to see the angel wings. And then there's all the hearts with the angel babies' names on them, aren't there?
Mm-hmm.
And then what do we go and hunt to find?
You find your name. Kobe
Yeah.
and show it, and you can get it out and put it in the car.
Yep, we get to take it home, and then what do we do with it?
You get to put it in your backyard.
You're darn right we get to put it in our yard.
Wow.
And all of our neighbors are jealous, aren't they?
Yeah.
They always think it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I think it stays up pretty much all year.
Yes, it does.
But yeah, the baseball game's only,
Yep, it stays up at nighttime
Even
too.
at nighttime.
Yep.
Wow.
The
You guys
whole
are
day.
celebrating every hour of the day. That's pretty special.
Yeah.
Yeah, the baseball game's only half of it, right? I mean, there's the whole event that leads up to it. And then obviously the day of, that's kind of the community aspect, right? Where we get to bring everybody together. And then, baseball's always fun, right?
Yeah.
But the stuff beforehand, I think at least is equally enjoyable.
Yeah. One of the coolest things that we really love is our new t-shirts year over year. So every year, the team designs kind of a new facade for us to be able to host.
You guys
And
are
this is-
the very first model.
I'm so
thank you.
proud of it. our shirts. And can you turn around and show them how it looks?
Be careful, bud.
So if you choose to create a team, which you don't have to do to be involved in the event, you can just show up and be present. But if you do choose to create a team, you can call it whatever you want. It allows you to, again, it's another opportunity to kind of fundraise for the cause. That is where a lot of our family, long distance family and friends have leaned into buying shirts, because then they can represent our family and our angels from afar. And James's grandma, the boys' great grandma, who lives in Wisconsin, loves to wear her shirt, and she begs for people to come and ask her about it in the grocery store, because she loves talking about the cause. And again, she's just one who's always eloquently spoke on how there wasn't something like this back then, and no one talked about those things. And she's so proud to be a great grandma to both Charlotte and Kobe. Yeah. And so for her to be able to lean in on something, again, you don't have to be here local to be able to celebrate and be a part of the event and the excitement. So the t-shirts are always a big win for us, aren't they?
Yeah. What do you think of the t-shirts this year?
Dad joke alert. They knocked it out of the park. No pun intended.
Oh my gosh. I wish I would have prompted you to say that. Thank you for beating me to it.
They did. They're really sharp this year. I'm very excited.
Well, I love that you have relatives who lean in that way and purchase shirts, but I think you touched on an important part of why we do this, right? There weren't communities like this. There weren't conversations being had about this even 10 years ago. So thank you for being part of that change and being a family that's willing to share your story and say Charlotte and Colby's names, because that's how we change that.
Yeah.
And so thank you for being here with us, and thank you for getting us all excited. We've got 1 week left for folks to start a team. So what should we tell other brothers who might have an angel brother or sister to get them excited about Angels in the Outfield?
Do it.
What do we think we should tell them?
Should
to
we
just
say,
commit?
Go for it?
Go all in?
Is it tons of fun?
Yeah.
Are you happy you
tons
do it every year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And have lots of fun.
I would also say, this is a perfect event. Sometimes, No Foot Too Small offers all sorts of fantastic events, resources, support groups, things like that, right? Sometimes I could understand why maybe like a support group might be a little bit intimidating to just kind of show up to. Here, though, with Angels in the Outfield, it's a perfect kind of low pressure opportunity. If, maybe you're a little bit more introverted, you're not exactly sure what this is all about. It's a baseball game, right? But it's so much more than a baseball game. But show up, right? Give it a try. See what it's all about. And I think you'll fall in love with it as much as we have.
You don't have to be good at it. We've got other events I guess you don't have to be good at our golf event. It would help.
Well, or you don't golf.
Or you don't golf and you volunteer, which is also a riot. But this is one of those events that there's no precursor. There's no thing you have to have done. You can just lean in and show up and celebrate with all the families.
If you don't know who to talk to, come find us.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Putting your personal information in the show notes.
I don't know if this is going to be posted anywhere, but they can pop it up. I don't know how people do it on normal podcasts. Pop it up.
Yeah, there's fancy ways. But I'm really glad you said that, because, we joke no baseball skills required, but also no fundraising skills required.
No.
One thing we're doing differently this year is we're actually giving teams social media toolkits.
Love that.
So there's graphics you can use. There's prompts you can use. There's ways to email your family and friends and let them know what you're doing, and just idea starters. So you can just come in and have everything you need to get started. Even if this is your first time sharing your story, right? We're here to guide you through that process. And there's families at every stage. There's a lot of families who enter No Foot Too Small through Angels in the Outfield. This is their first event for the exact reason you were just mentioning. It's an easy, small commitment, right?
Yes.
To connect with through sports. So, I'm glad you
Yeah.
reiterated that because there's no pressure.
There's no pressure.
Yeah.
And everyone had to be at their first thing once.
Yeah.
We all went to our first event once, and just if there's nerves, you can
Check 'em at
be
the door.
Yeah.
Right.
Everyone knows and understands and can meet you where you are at any point in your grief journey, or if you're there as a support person because someone you know is grieving. There are no prerequisites to being involved. You just have to show up.
Yeah. You'll see on a lot of the shirts, worst club, best people, right? Sure, it might sound cliche, but it is quite literally one of the truest things that we could say about the organization. Yeah, it's a club that nobody probably wants to be in. Not probably, you don't want to be in, right? But
Yeah.
it is the best of people. So give it a shot.
Yeah.
It's perfect. Well, do you guys want to help me? I have a really important task for you.
Uh-oh.
On 3, let's say, play ball.
Ooh.
Okay.
Nice and loud.
And we'll officially kick off the last week of team registrations together. It's an important job. Can you help me?
All right.
We're going to say it loudly, okay? 3, 2, 1.
Play ball!
Thank you again to all of our really special guests today. Thank you to you for tuning in. If you'd like more information about Angels in the Outfield, how to sign up your team, we'll link all of the information in our show notes. Special shout out to Storyline Multimedia for holding space for our conversations today. Please share this episode. We'd love to get the word out about Angels in the Outfield. And if you are someone who's experiencing pregnancy or infant loss, we'd love to connect with you. Please reach out to us at nofoottosmall.org. If you're interested in supporting our mission, there is a donate tab. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you, and we'll catch you at the next episode.